It's fitting, isn't it? That this tournament, a major that has launched champion after champion onto this grand stage of the game.
There it is! Kevin McCune, fire it and win it!
Be the one to introduce the newest season on the lanes. A season of firsts. That's what you should expect. Records will topple, stars will be born, and when it matters most, in the biggest of games, the ones like today's, performances will climb to a different level.
Crack it open! That's some hometown cooking. We are watching greatness.
That's what it takes to win a major title. Let's get this season rolling, shall we?
On fire! Built for this.
The 2024 PBA Players Championship starts now on Fox.
Welcome you to Bowlero Northrock. A capacity crowd is here in Wichita, Kansas for the PBA Players Championship presented by Snickers. It's the kickoff to the PBA Tour on Fox 2024. Over 60 hours of competition, 8 telecasts on Fox this season. The first one today. Our first major championship is a Stepladder bracket. Chris By and Ryan Barnes will kick us off. Nate Stubler, the second-year pro, is waiting. And then the veterans in the wings, Bill O'Neill and Tom Smallwood, the top seed, seeking his third major title. Welcome to a new year of the PBA Tour on Fox. Are you guys ready? You bet they are. He's Randy Peterson. I'm John Fanta, and we are ready to go in Wichita, Kansas. What is your headline?
Man, I think you got to start with our #1 seed, Tom Smallwood. I don't think there's ever been a bigger Cinderella story in our sport than this guy right here. I mean, think about it. Way back when, he was an ex-auto worker, and he turned into a major championship winner on the PBA Tour. And it all started back in this building in 2009 when Tom Smallwood captured his first title, his first major, the World Championship. He's also a past winner of this event. And you know what? One win away from capturing his third major. But John, 2023 was dismal for Tom Smallwood. He's one win away tonight from winning his third major.
The man who has won the first major of the PBA season the last 3 seasons has ended up as the Tour Player of the Year. Now, we don't just have the veterans, but we have local flair. There's a lot of black and gold of Wichita State University here, because there's a member of the national champions in this field. He's a college senior, Ryan Barnes.
What an amazing story this is. I mean, Ryan was an ex-basketball player, didn't really care a whole lot about bowling until about 3 years ago. And now he's a superstar at Wichita State, the son of 2 Hall of Famers, Chris and Linda, so obviously some great DNA, but he's making his first telecast ever. I'll tell you what, here in Wichita, he's been the talk of the town for the past week throughout this event, and make no mistake about it, he will be the crowd favorite today.
An unbelievable journey that's lasted just 4 years of playing competitive bowling, and now could a college senior be a major champion in the PBA? This crowd is ready. Our third member of the team, Kimberly Pressler, is too. She's with Ryan Barnes right now.
Thanks, John. So, Ryan, the bowling genes are strong in your family. Both your mother, Linda, and your father, Chris, are Hall of Famers. Great careers for both of them, but you told us yesterday in the interview that you feel like you're a really good mix between the two of them. Explain that.
Yeah, I got my dad's technical side of the game, and I got my mom's mental side of the game. It's a pretty good mix. I mean, they're okay, I guess.
They're okay. You have your dad's personality, I see, and jokes. But you know what? I see a whole lot of yellow and black in this crowd. Your Shocker teammates who you won a championship, the national championship with. Normally you guys are out here and you're cheering on each other, but tonight it's all about you. They are here for you. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means the world. I love those guys, go to battle with those guys all the time, and I appreciate them being here.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Here we go. Match #1, this Stepladder. It's Ryan Barnes against Chris By, a past U.S. Open champion.
Yeah, I mean, hold on to your hats. This is going to be loud, fun, and fast.
A 2-time member of Junior Team USA and a member of the 2023 national champion Wichita State Shockers, Ryan Barnes.
21 years of age. As Kimberly has brought up the son of 2 pros Chris and Linda. Chris in tears earlier this week when he found out and saw that his son was going to be competing for the Players Championship. What a start.
A six-time member of Team USA and the 2021 United States Open champion, Chris Vi.
Chris could barely get those sleeves over those biceps. Dude's jacked. But I'm really digging the shirt.
We asked him what's worked this week. He said, I've just been quicker, more decisive. Chris Vi seeking his second major title. This was his first 2021 United States Open.
Yeah, the last few years, this guy's been a major destroyer. But as you said, here's his U.S. Open win in 2021. Last year, I think he finished in the top 10, 4 out of 5 majors.
He defeated Jacob Buttroff, became the first #1 seed to win the title in the green jacket, the time since 2015, Ryan Simonelli. Chris's home lanes, Holiday Lanes in Columbus, Ohio.
Look, just a pinch fast on that shot. Both players starting out with urethane on this pattern. We saw a lot of urethane go down the lanes on this 38-foot Wayne Webb pattern. Both players using the IQ 78.
Randy, Chris has been in 15 telecasts in his career. He's got the 1 title. What's the key for him to break through?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, you're gonna have to win again. He's just too good. But maybe sometimes his strategy needs to change. Maybe there's just a key moment where he has to make a better shot. Maybe a little bit of luck. But talent-wise, he's got all that. And now he has the experience. So he's positioned himself very well to win again.
What do you see in this 21-year-old kid's talent?
It looks like a mini-me of Chris Barnes. There you see his arsenal. He's using IQ 78U urethane.
What a start.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only does he look a lot like his father, Chris, his mannerisms are the same. I mean, it's like looking at Chris Barnes. We take a look at the Wayne Webb 38-foot oil pattern. You can see that the players are going to play pretty close to that track and pretty straight with urethane. It actually made the pattern play the easiest. The farther or the closer they could get to the friction, the better. When they moved in with reactive, it just didn't look good. It was inconsistent. Scoring pace was high this week.
That's today's Brunswick oil pattern. And yes, Ryan faced his pops. His dad, Chris, beat him by 2. Ryan Barnes starting with a turkey.
Look how straight he's going, too. If you look at these numbers on strike track. What a great start. Up the back, you can see the oil rings on that urethane ball, keeping it right in front of him and doing what Ryan really likes to do, and that's direct with pretty good pace.
Vi off a spare. Chris Vi strikes.
It's so crazy watching the ball reactions early on. Reminds me a lot of what bowling was like back in the 80s with urethane bowling balls, except now the urethane equipment's so much more different. But in terms of ball reaction, it's very similar. However, the big change is the amount of oil that's been put down on the lanes now versus back then.
It will be interesting to see who ends up winning this, and then in our next matchup, the lone lefty here, Nate Stubler, is the 3.
IQ Tour 78U for Chris Vi as well.
Vi is sizzling.
Light, the first shot on that left lane for Chris, and this is a light mixer. One of the things to watch for as this show progresses is carry down with the urethane bowling balls and watching that left lane to see if it gets tighter down lane than the right lane does.
Barnes hasn't missed. Ryan Barnes, America, learn his name.
Can't even imagine what he's feeling right now. I mean, his parents back there, his teammates. He's bowled some big-time competition before, but nothing close to this.
He was a high school basketball star.
Yeah.
29 points, his career high.
We asked him, hey, what's the most points you scored in a game? He said, I think 29.
And when COVID hit, there was nothing open.
Yeah.
So he went to his dad, Chris, and said, you know what? The only thing that's open is a bowling alley.
Yeah, Dad said, hey, let's go bowl.
Ended up being the best thing that could have happened to this kid. Went from casually doing it to competing and now being in a major championship. At 21 years old, he hasn't missed.
You can see the fire and intensity of young Ryan Barnes, same as his father. Rev rate is way up there, approaching almost 580. He is just absolutely pounding on it.
This crowd loves it. Vi joked with us yesterday. He goes, yeah, I'll have more fans here.
Yeah.
I'll be the hometown favorite.
Mm-hmm.
His mother is here.
Yes, and she brought cookies, as she always does, and they're delicious.
That is a PBA Tour tradition for those who don't know.
This guy just kind of quietly goes about his business. I mean, he's just a giant stud of a man. Great shape, works out 4 to 5 times a week, and just so unassuming. And just goes about his business quietly and just lets his bowling ball do the talking.
There's his mother.
Mama Vi.
As you said, came with chocolate chip cookies. Angie brings them to all the events that Chris is in. Chris talked to us about going to Korea for the Phil Crispin Memorial Invitational, how big that was for him.
Yeah, for a lot of players, everybody that went. Chris playing this left lane one board tighter than the right lane. So he's one board to the right. He's got to watch his speed on that lane because of that.
Christopher.
First blink, really, in what has been 2 stars going at it.
Well, here's a leave that you have to pay a lot of respect to, the bucket.
Cleans it up.
Wow, that was perfect.
These two have been pretty perfect for the most part thus far. The opening matchup in our step ladder to determine the Players Championship in the PBA. Barnes and Vi getting after it. The PBA on Fox is sponsored by Bowlero, the #1 place to bowl, party, and play with over 340 locations nationwide. Head to Bowlero.com today to find a center near you. Let's take a look at our Bowl TV highlights to see how these players got here. Ryan Barnes trailed B.J. Moore by 43 pins for the final berth on this show.
Well, and he also had to try to stay ahead of Packy Hanrahan. If Ryan doubles in the 10th frame, he shuts out Packy. He got the first strike, and that locked him.
He's playing B.J. Moore there. And
you can see Packett was just to the right of that. But, wow. Yeah, it literally came down to those two. And then, of course, his dad. Proud papa there, Chris Barnes, the Hall of Famer.
And the resilience of a Hall of Famer's son, to which when mom, Linda, a USBC Hall of Famer, was asked, where does Ryan get all that cold-blooded nature from? Linda said, me, of course.
Well, and I think Chris's response was, thank God.
How good has this kid been thus far?
Thus far, very impressive.
Make it 6!
Posted up beautifully. Now, here's the difference right now in the match. You've seen Chris Vi go light a couple of times on that left lane. Ryan Barnes is actually playing the left lane 2 boards to the right of where Chris Vi is. He's more up the back, a little more speed, and he's really jamming it on that left lane. And that's why he's perfect through 6 frames.
The benefits of calling this your home. He knows his place.
He's got schematics for every lane in the building. You know, this is a kid that averaged 196 just a few years ago, and this past year he averaged 239. But it came at a price. This kid spent hours upon hours in the center, 20 to 25 games of practice a day.
And helped lead Wichita State to their 13th national title this past year. Ryan is doing something special to start the players.
I'm not going to say the number, but is it possible this kid shoots the number? I mean, he's got the front 7, but I'm not going to say the number. I'm not going to be the guy that jinxes him.
No. You would never be that guy. So, to flip the script, how does Chris Vi respond?
We're going to find out.
Quite well.
Yeah, I mean, that lane's not the problem for Chris. It's the left lane. So we'll see if he makes an adjustment and maybe move right and try to get a little more in front of it, more up the back and jam it on that left lane instead of trying to shape it a little bit.
Why is the left such an issue?
It's just an issue for him, and it's because of the way he's played the lanes all week.
Think about that. He's been right on the altar in these majors. He has been in position. Won major title at United States Open 3 years ago. He believes he's got the tools to make a run here. That's the 10.
Well, he had a good one.
Chris is the only player in PBA Tour history to bowl multiple televised 300 games in the same season. Cleans that up. But right now he's fighting the uphill battle because the 21-year-old Ryan Barnes has been unstoppable. Folks, you see the number under the max on your screen, and that's all you need to see.
And now I think you have a little bit better understanding of how hard it is to win out on this tour.
Wrong spot.
I mean, look what his opponent's doing. It's not like Chris is bowling awful.
He's been nails, and now he's got 8. Oh boy, what a start to the year of PBA on Fox. If any player bowls a 300 game today on Fox, everyone who pre-registers at GoBowling.com will receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. You could hear a pin drop in here because the hometown kid, this is just the first matchup in this Stepladder Championship. And that's the end of the perfect run.
Looked like he got slow and kind of grabbed onto it a little bit at the bottom of the swing, but I got to be honest with you, that might be the best thing that could have happened to him. Because bowling 300, trying to come down off of that cloud and get ready for your next match, hard to do.
Have you seen that before?
Yes. More than once.
And cleans it up.
I've actually starred in that movie.
Well, you have to love the camaraderie there between the two. That's serious sportsmanship from Chris Vi. Talked about using the same ball for all 24 games.
You're talking 24 games of match play.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Earlier this week.
48 games total.
That would have been pretty good. Might have been able to keep up with you. It's pretty nice.
It's a good thing they're not going to have to arm wrestle after this.
Well, he just has such a, and you've talked about this, such a mindset about him, such a consistency, as reflected by using the same ball for 24 of the 48 games. He believes in that process, and that process results in back-to-back strikes.
Yeah, he was just kind of giving it that because he struck on the left lane finally. Hey, Woodrow. There he is, PGA Tour winner Woody Austin in the house. Lives fairly close to Northrock. Great guy, too.
The Stars out in Wichita.
Oh, man. Well, it's not going to be the last time we see Chris Vi, that's for sure. And I think, again, you've got to watch this left lane because it's starting to get real slick down lane.
And he'll still take $25,000 home.
Good
Top
start.
prize.
Good start for 2024 for Chris Vi, wouldn't you say?
You bet. He just remains in the picture. Between 2020 and 2021, he made 5 of 7 major championship finals, but this kid is rolling on. Ryan Barnes.
Look what else Ryan just did. He went to reactive. The game's over. He wants to change to a different bowling ball to see what his options are moving forward. Just a veteran move.
And there's the man waiting for him, Nate Stubler. In his second year as a pro, he's 25. He's got a chip on his shoulder that we're going to talk about.
Wow. Well, first game under the belt of young Ryan Barnes, and it was spectacular. What a start.
Do you think he's a Hall of Famer, son?
Game
yeah.
one, baby. Come on.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Thank you.
Game one, baby. Come on. That's what Ryan Barnes says. He's moving on. And that's classy from his dad, Chris, with Chris Vi. Ryan Barnes is moving on. The 21-year-old college senior. Could he win $100,000? He's alive. Nate Stubler, the second-year pro on the hunt for his first major, is ahead. Bill O'Neill and Tom Smallwood are also waiting. We meet Nate Stubler, the pride of LaSalle, Illinois, next as he goes up against Barnes. Last year at the Players Championship, we saw the arrival of Kevin McCune, a third-generation champion in his family between Don, his grandfather, and Eugene, the human rocket launcher, passing the torch off to Kevin. And in New Jersey, he experienced glory. We're watching the next generation.
A lot of great players and soon to be right behind them. There's Big Wes Malott, his son Jordan, very, very talented. Parker Bones' kids are amazing players.
And now, Ryan Barnes, the task in front of him is the 25-year-old. the second-year pro warming up, and the lone lefty, which I want to ask you what that means here to Nate Stubler.
Well, it means a lot to any left-hander when he's the only left-hander on the telecast. He's got the left side of the lane to himself. If he has a good look, it's going to stay there throughout the remainder of the telecast. If his look's not that good, maybe not enough time to break that pattern down to make it to where it's favorable for himself.
Take a look at some of the other notable names, other finishers in this tournament.
Another southpaw, Packy, just missing out, finishing 6th. There's BJ. Christian Ascona had a great week as well.
Packy, Hanrahan, Wichita zone as well, just falling short, and you go right down the line. I mean, this is some serious talent as you go down the board.
Graham Foss started off red hot. There's Barnes, another Wichita State alum. EJ Tackett in 17th.
Talked with EJ about this week. He said, look, I'm going to pick up steam as the season goes on.
You need to take a picture of that right there, because it's not going to be very often you're going to see Chris Prather and Belmonte finish 23rd and 24th in any tournament this season, I promise you.
Jason Belmonte, most Players Championships won in 2011, 17, and 22 with 3. Ryan Barnes earlier, he's searching for hardware today, but he got recognized for winning hardware last year with his Wichita State Shockers National Championship program led by head coach Rick Steele-Smith. It's pretty cool, Randy.
Very nice.
And the team is here. To have the team here, they've got their mascot here, a lot of gold and black. And he is cool as a cucumber. He's got the fan sitting in the chair, waiting as Nate Stubler continues warm-ups. Kimberly Pressler is with Nate Stubler, our number 3 seed.
Well, Nate, typically players only use one weight in ball, normally 15 or 16, but you decided to go with a 15 and a 16 tonight. Why is that?
So the 16, it hooks on a different part of the lane. It allows me to slow my feet down a little bit. Especially if I get quick, it tends to have a little bit more miss from down lane, the way it flares. So, yeah, essentially it hits the pins harder and allows me to shape it a little bit more when I need to.
We'll see if that works for you tonight. Good luck.
Thank you.
Match number 2. Nate Stubler and Ryan Barnes. The winner gets number 2 seed Bill O'Neill. What do you see in Nate's game?
Well, I haven't watched a lot. I know he's got a little bit late timing. His right arm tends to flare a bit, but it's part of his style. He makes it work.
A 2-time collegiate All-American and 2019 member of Junior Team USA, Nate Stubler.
College St. Ambrose.
And getting back to what I see in his game, I think the one thing that really stands out, though, is his finishing position at the foul line. And I think that's what you look for in any really good player, is how stable they are at the foul line.
Stable beginning.
It was a mugging on the 7-pin, by the way. You know, that's illegal in a lot of states, except here in Kansas. Take a look here. He gets that ball into the swing. Pretty good timing there. And late, you see that foot come to a complete stop, the slide foot. Some of the best players in the world over the years have had late timing.
Ryan Barnes, after hitting 7 straight strikes in his opening match, not the same fortune here. He's got a conundrum. 4 and 9.
This ball checks just a little bit early for Ryan, which forces it a pinch high, and kind of unlucky, leaving both the 4 and the 9 pin.
Oh,
good
no.
try.
So, as opposed to perfection in the opener, it is quite the opposite to start match number 2. He commanded Chris Vi. Was scalding hot to start in front of this capacity crowd. Pops, the Hall of Famer. Chris, Mom Linda looking on. What a day for this family. Whoa! A late call.
Well, after the bad break on the right lane, the first shot of this second match, this break is phenomenal. I mean, the 4 and 6 are standing at 1 point. Check this out. Oh, by 4. Oh, good night, 6. Exactly. And Chris, do you see his dad, Chris? He's like, did you expect anything different?
You know everything about this place. Back-to-back jacks for Stubler.
Yeah, and again, you know, you asked, or you talked about, you know, his chances today, and again, you know, he has to have a good look, but he has to manage everything that goes into bowling on television for the very first time. Can he manage the nerves? Can he handle the pressure?
Let's go to Kimberly.
Guys, in December, it was announced that Nate placed 5th for Rookie of the Year, so he decided to contact the PBA to find out the percentage of the votes, and he ended up with 6%, and he told us that actually surprised him. So he said he used that as fuel to motivate him coming into the 2024 season. As you can tell, that motivation has paid off because he finds himself in the Stepladder finals of a major for the very first time.
Boom! There's a saying in the PBA Tour. Will you be Stublerized?
Oh, Johnny. Johnny.
He's making the T-shirts.
All right. So after game 1, Ryan stays with the same ball, has not made a move for those first 2 shots. Went high. Let's see what happens here. Oh my goodness, back-to-back 4 9s on the right lane.
Hey, man.
Kidding. How many times have you ever seen that? You seem genuinely shocked.
I've seen it before, but it hasn't happened very often. I've seen back-to-backs, pocket 7-10s. I've seen a lot of stuff, John.
You're in your 25th season calling PBA Tour. Congratulations on a quarter century. Oh! This time he nailed it.
Well, he's 50% on this on this 4-9 conversion, though, and that's good because the last thing you want is 2 out of 3 open frames, especially when your opponent starts off with the front 3. Now, Ryan needs to get on track, and he needs to start striking in hopes that Stubler slows down a bit.
Saw him command. Now, how does he respond?
And there's that left lane wiggle. We saw Chris Vi have it in the first match, and we just saw it right there with Ryan. He probably moved just a little bit left off the first shot he threw on that lane when he went high and tripped out the 4-6, and this ball just never grabs the lane. "12 for 12 on that 2-pin this week. All of our great stats brought to us by our friends at Lane Talk. For more information, you want to be a better bowler, and for some great stats, visit lanetalk.com.
I threw the second one on the left, just right. And I moved off of it, of course.
Yeah, just, I don't think you have to throw it as slow as you think you do, because the first one was definitely slow, like coming out of the break. So just go back on top of it and like dial it up just back to where you were.
Love the access that these players give us.
Nate going with black hammer, urethane.
Stubler. 4. It's a win for fans and a win for football as the USFL and XFL merger is official. The United Football League will begin play March 30th with the USFL champion Birmingham Stallions taking on the XFL champion Arlington Renegades. The United Football League this spring on ABC, ESPN, Fox, and FS1. Spring just got stronger. John Fanta, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler with you. 2024 PBA Players Championship. Nate Stubler right now versus Ryan Barnes. Only 4 remain after Barnes beat Chris Vine. Stubler's been on fire and keeps it rolling, folks. 5 for 5.
Yeah, foot buried on the accelerator right now for Nate Stubler.
Well, he's got that chip on his shoulder. You finish 5th in the voting for the 2023 Harry Golden PBA Rookie of the Year Award. Cortez Shank, a worthy winner. But Nate's out to prove people that he's ready to take that second-year lead. Barnes with a needed strike.
And real quick, I'd just like to make mention of some other Wichita State University players that are either on the tour or have won on this tour, but you got to start with Packy Hanrahan, who finished 6th. You got Hoope, Chris Prather, Sean Rash, Chris Barnes, Jake Peters, Wesley Lowe, as Ryan Barnes is taking a re-rack. Francois Lavoie, Nathan Bohr, my ex-tour roommate, Justin Romick, who is a U.S. Open champion. I know I've missed some names because there's been so many greats that have come out of that university's program. And you're looking at another one right here in Ryan Barnes.
Years of age. And now he's starting to surge.
Come on. Whoa. All of a sudden, that fall reaction went from kind of iffy to perfect.
But can he fight through Nate Stubler? Will Stubler blink? He's been perfect thus far. PBA Players Championship. Welcome back to Bowlero Northrock in Wichita, Kansas. 2024 PBA Players Championship at stake, a $100,000 cash prize in the first major of the season.
Oh, man, I'm not sure I can get through this. Bill Chrisman passed away on September 28, 2023. He was CEO and founder of Storm Bowling and a global leader in the industry. Can't do it.
Bill was a visionary leader who dedicated his life to revolutionizing the sport of bowling. He touched so many lives around the world. Bill was 74, and we at Fox Sports and at the PBA remember Bill Chrisman forever. One of the greats.
Sorry, John. Thank you.
Oh, no, my friend. I know how much
Brutal.
it meant to you. I know how much you both care about this sport. As we continue this second match, Nate Stubler with a lead on Ryan Barnes. 25-year-old Nate Stubler in year 2 as a pro. The lone southpaw in this field remaining, and he's got a scenario.
Yeah, big one. He's staring at an open frame after the front 5, and all that does is give new life to young Ryan Barnes. You can see that ball looked like it hooked early, grabbed the lane early, slowed down, went right through the nose, and he paid for it.
So what's the strategy here?
The strategy is to pick off the 6-10 and hope one of them bounces out.
9.
If not, you know, you save count and you move on. But I don't think he was expecting that. Neither was I. That ball did check early.
Nate said he's told himself, two-time All-American at St. Ambrose, to trust himself. He was adopted, and he said God has a way of doing things. His family adopted him. They built and opened Illinois Valley Super Bowl in Peru, Illinois in 1998. So Nate said, I was chosen to be a bowler. And he said, that's the best thing that could have happened in my life.
Enough?
That's a big time bounce back.
Again, all the players thus far using urethane. That goes for Nate Stubler as well. That black hammer is urethane. The red balls are urethane. And that was the choice of the majority of the players this week. And that was because they could stay straighter, stay closer to the friction. They didn't have to shape it a whole lot. Even though it's a shorter pattern, 38 feet, there was a lot of volume.
Ryan Barnes tracking.
All of a sudden, we've gotten a little tighter.
Yes, we have. This was not the scenario for him to advance past Chris Vi.
Comes in light, shreds the rack, keeps his chances alive. And now back to the left lane where he's had the most trouble. Chris Vi had trouble on that left lane. The only player thus far that hasn't had any trouble on that lane has been Nate Stubler.
And what's been the trouble?
Trouble is tightness down lane.
Barnes. On a comeback trail in Wichita.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, we saw him early on trip the 4-6 out on that left lane, and this time he does it once again. Check out this break, and it couldn't have happened at a better time, working on 3 in a row.
The Just Right Strike is brought to you by Just Bear, the mindful choice for high-quality protein with no antibiotics ever. Just Right, Just Bear. And a come on to boot. We've got a battle. Winner gets Bill O'Neill. The top seed, Tom Smallwood, waits last. Stubler answers.
Oh my, check out these numbers right here on Strike Track. A little bit outside on that shot there, and it peels right off the edge. Rips the rack and doubles up.
How about the jump that he has taken? You think about it, 84th on the PBA points list as a rookie, 210 average. And he's just out to prove doubters wrong this season. This is quite a way to start year 2.
Slow enough?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
And check it out, right here, folks.
Should not have made that adjustment. That's all right.
And that couldn't happen at a worse time. 3:79 left for Nate on the left lane. Looked like it was a hair fast, and it blew right through the end of the pattern.
First time he has left this all week. That includes 48 games played.
That's incredible, because that's very easy to leave. 2.810 for a right-hander, 3.79 for lefty. Man.
It was a valiant approach.
Yeah, it was.
But you just said it now. The door has cracked open for the hometown kid.
Cracked open? No, it swung open. Max score for Ryan Barnes, 247. Max score Nate Stubler, 230.
He just stayed the course. Did you hear Stubler say? Shouldn't have made that adjustment.
Heard it.
It's my favorite part of doing this with you. We get to basically live with the players as they're going through this.
And I'm not sure about the adjustment because he had struck every ball on that lane.
Here comes Ryan Barnes.
The Von Ryan Express just left the station.
I think I'm going to go 1-1. Just go 1-1. Just keep in front of me.
Keep in front of you. Roll it. All right.
One strike here in the 10th will put him in the high 230s. A strike in 7. And he will shut out Nate Stubler.
And be one of 3 standing.
Think about, he was down some 50 pins early.
Incredible. The Wichita State Shocker, a national champion and All-American. He is just 21 years old. Dad Chris, Mom Linda watching. 2 Hall of Famers.
And so the plot thickens.
Yes, it does.
Now Ryan's max score, 224. Nate Stubler still 230. But still, Ryan's faced with a leave. You have to pay respect to 3-6-10.
That look on Stubler's face in the chair said, oh, I'm alive. Barnes needs it, gets it. Mom and Dad proud. A look back at Pops. And now Randy, a massive shot.
Nothing like having a couple Hall of Famers helping you. I mean, it's always good to have confirmation, right? And I think that Ryan looked back at his father, Chris, and I think Chris probably, you know, tugged on the earlobe, meaning move a board left with your feet and a board left with your target. And jam it.
He did it!
And I mean, that matters because 224, excuse me, the fill shot's just the fill shot. As long as he stayed above 220, but that forces Stubler to double in the 10th frame.
The winner meets the 2 seed, Bill O'Neill. Nate Stubler. No PBA Tour titles, just his 2nd year as a pro, a 25-year-old. 6% of the vote for Rookie of the Year. He felt like he was disrespected. Now is his time.
Has to strike.
And does! Wow!
And the crowd goes mild. What a great hit this is. Check out this messenger. Nate Stubler, everybody back in Illinois is like, yeah, baby.
Man, that's like calling a pizza shop at 10:29 and they close at 11 for a delivery.
I hate when that happens. All right, he's got a strike here. Strike and 5, but has to strike on this shot.
And on the right. You can hear a pin drop. Stubler.
Oh my goodness. What a shot. What a lousy break. And Ryan Barnes moving on once again. Wow.
Ryan Barnes at 21 years young, the son of Hall of Famers, is one of just 3 left standing for the 2024 Players Championship, and this is not the last we've seen of Nate Stubler this year. It's just the beginning.
Hold your head high, Nate. Hold your head high.
Wow.
Too late open frame. 6th and 9th frame cost him. This is a beautiful shot right here. He was running it out. Yeah, vicious ring in 7.
Could you have asked for a better scene here, which is 3 remaining?
No, I mean, you know, now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, right? I mean, young Ryan is going to have to take on a future Hall of Famer in Bill O'Neill.
A 13-time title winner in Bill O'Neill. Between the 2 left standing with Barnes, Smallwood, and O'Neill, you've got to combine 4 major championships. This 21-year-old kid has arrived on the scene, and now he's trying to make history. Next, Bill O'Neill. He's a new man this year. He's healthy. He'll meet the kid from Wichita. On this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we recognize the African-American PBA stars through the years. George Branham, first African-American to win a PBA title, 5 tour wins, 1 major, 1993 Tournament of Champions.
George Branham III, my tour roommate for quite a few years on the PBA Tour. I grew up with George back in Southern California.
How about Gary Faulkner? Joined the PBA in 2013. In his first TV appearance, won a major, the 2015 PBA World Championship. And then Billy Oatman, starting his pro career at age 40, was named the Harry Golden PBA Rookie of the Year for 2006-07. Billy, Gary, and George, all PBA greats. On this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we recognize those African-American PBA champions for all their legendary moments. Hey, it's a brand new season of the PBA Tour on Fox. We are going bowling across America. Over 60 hours of televised competition. All 5 majors among 8 Fox broadcasts. How much fun is this?
So you're basically saying we're going to be roadies again?
Yes.
Awesome. Can't wait.
We're hitting the road. And it's really cool, Randy, to see that we're really touring from city to city this year.
Yeah, it really has that feel again that we used to have, where we would bounce from city to city and showcasing the greatest players on the planet in different venues. So that's nice. And not to mention frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, not to mention that either. John Fanta, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler with you. So Ryan Barnes has been able to advance and be one of the last 3 standing. Next up is Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, and then we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes, right? I mean, Bill O'Neill, the KG veteran, future Hall of Famer. This guy has seen it all. He can do anything he wants to with a bowling ball in terms of manipulation. He's very dangerous. You got to watch Bill O'Neill. Don't ever turn your back on him. And then Smallwood, our #1 seed, it almost feels like deja vu, right? I mean, this is where it all started for Tom, and now he's the tournament leader here once again at a major.
It's really cool. 15 years after Tom Smallwood achieved his American dream, a former General Motors worker. He was unemployed. Now he's here today, 15 years after winning his first major title, with a chance to do it in Wichita again.
Yeah.
And you got a 21-year-old kid among the 3 left. This is pretty awesome.
It really is.
Time for our Go Bowling pressing questions. And the subject of our pressing questions with Kimberly Pressler is 2024 resolutions.
EJ, Happy New Year. It's a new season. Any New Year resolutions?
No, not really. I guess try to win more than 5 times this year, maybe.
You got a high bar. You set a high bar last year.
Yeah, I certainly did. It was an incredible season. Definitely tops the charts for my personal career. But definitely the best part of last year was December 13th when my son was born.
AJ, 2024 is upon us. New season. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? And you can't give me anything like, I want to try and eat healthier.
Is that a fat joke?
Not at all. Mitch, it's a new year. Lots of people like to do New Year's resolutions. What are yours?
Win more? Is that a valid answer? I feel like everybody's probably going to say that.
No, I don't have anything. I think New Year's resolutions a little bit lame for me. You should, if you're gonna wait to New Year's to make a resolution, you should already been doing it. People in December, they're like, "Oh, New Year, new me." I'm like, I hope it's the New Year's same me, because if I didn't like who I was, why would I be walking around smiling all the time?
The only resolution I have is be happy no matter what I'm doing and be mentally in a good place.
I absolutely love that. That's a good one right there.
Positivity, that's what we're here for.
Ryan Barnes has an awful lot to be happy about. He's Mr. Positive. He's Mr. Hometown Kid. He's one of 3 left standing for the PBA Players Championship. A matchup with Bill O'Neill is next on Fox. Welcome back to the PBA Players Championship presented by Snickers. It's the first major of the season. And here we go with match number 3. 21-year-old Ryan Barnes on one side, 42-year-old Bill O'Neill on the other. Ryan coming from behind to beat Nate Stubler in advance is Bill, a 13-time champion.
And a ball change right out of the gate here in this match with Bill O'Neill. Ryan's going to reactive.
And that 10 just hangs. What do you make of that move?
Well, we're gonna find out, aren't we? But obviously, the way Ryan likes to shape it, he felt that the urethane ball was going too early, and then that forced him to create a little bit of angle, and when he did that, it wouldn't come up the hill, so he's going to go to reactive. Look out.
Oh, boy.
Ryan.
A mistake.
A 13-time PBA Tour champion with 2 major titles, the real deal, Bill O'Neill.
Bill O'Neill with a back injury that hampered him at the end of last season. Now ready for this stage, fully healthy and feeling great.
Go!
Start strong. Bill has some history. In February 2020, PBA Players Championship. Yes, this event. It was at Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. Bill O'Neill defeated 1-seed E.J. Tackett. Randy, this was wild by 1 pin, 233 to 32.
Yeah, I remember that finish, and isn't it kind of ironic that now we're in Wichita, but yet it's on the Wayne Webb oil pattern?
Yes, it is.
Bill O'Neill going with a Black Widow 3.0. That is not urethane. That is reactive.
Leaving the 4. Randy, he talked to us yesterday about ball weight change, switching back to 15.
Yeah, well, like he was trying 14 pounds. It made his hand too fast at times. And, you know, Bill's tinkered over the years trying to, you know, be the best player he could be. And before last year's World Series, he went back to 15. And, you know, that's where he's at now. And he's like, you know, I'll try anything once. I mean, and I don't blame him. I mean, you're always trying to find some edge, especially with the two-handers with all the power, trying to catch up. Bill's such a traditional guy. Here's Ryan with urethane back on the right lane.
Barnes, after that tough start,
hated it. As soon as he let go of it, he hated it. So now the missed 10 pin is now compounded with the big 4 here in the second, and he's looking at back-to-back open frames.
How do you approach this shot?
Well, it's only been made once on television in the history of the PBA, and that was by Walter Ray Williams Jr. So you try to cut either the 4-pin or the 6-pin sideways and hope you get lucky. Or you can bounce a pin out and get lucky.
You just hear that?
What's that?
He said trying too hard.
Reality on the left lane, which is reactive for Ryan Barnes.
Needs a bounce back.
Really good shot. Hard to believe he'd leave a weak 10 with that much power. But he did. Big hole early. And it's something you don't want to do against a guy like Bill O'Neill. Weak 10 because the 6-pin goes to the sidewall and just lays kind of dead into that right gutter.
Spare for Barnes.
Yep, he gets that from his dad.
A smile to Pops. It's so fun watching them communicate.
They don't even have to use words.
No. What do you love most about this guy?
Bill O'Neill, he's old school.
Old school, still works in 2024.
And I'm not done. Go ahead and read your promo card there, and then I'll keep going what I love about Bill O'Neill.
I will. Registration for the 2024 PBA LBC National Championships is now open to bowlers of all skill levels and from all centers. The PBA LBC National Championships is heading to a new location outside Chicago and includes 2 new junior divisions. You can compete in singles as well as optional doubles and team events. Even combine your scores with the pros. Enter today at pba.com/LBC tournament.
All right, you want to know more?
Yeah, you were saying?
He's a class act. He's a family man. He's a great husband, great father. And he's old school. Ooh, that was a good shot. So that's why, in case you were wondering. Good shot here, 6 wrapping around the 10. That's a ringing 10.
His first win came at the Chameleon Championship back in 2009-10. Ended up winning the U.S. Open. At the age of 42, he knew he felt good about that previous shot. That's why he's frustrated that the 10 was up.
That was good.
He's always been real honest with himself and with you know, his approach to the game. And when he throws a good shot and doesn't get rewarded, you know about it. And when he throws a bad one, he'll let you know he threw a bad one. All right, now let's see if young Master Barnes here can rebound after back-to-back open frames to start this match.
Just tough sledding here in this third match for Ryan Barnes.
And tough sledding when you're making micro adjustments just to get to the pocket, and then when you do, you leave a weak 10, and then you leave another weak 10. It's just, it really damages the psyche. And so now he's got to be thinking, all right, well, I threw that one perfect. It left a weak 10. If there's a ring in 10, you can, all right, well, maybe I'm close with that, right? But a weak 10, the ball's not going through the pins strong enough. So now what? I mean, you gotta think to yourself, I gotta change balls. I gotta do something different. I can't keep doing this in hopes that I'll get lucky and something will change.
It sounds like chaos mentally within the game within the game.
Here's another ball change on the left lane going to a phase 2. Meanwhile, Bill O'Neill still with that same Black Widow 3.0.
The veteran versus the rook. Made the change and it worked.
You see how much more shape that had in the back part of the lane, John?
Yes. Up to 19 miles per hour.
O'Neill, I think, is at 20.
He is.
But look how much more shape this ball has in the back end.
Lot of bowling left. Let's go. Lot of bowling left.
A lot of bowling left, Randy. O'Neill. Well, Barnes has come back from a big deficit before. He just did it against Nate Stubler. Now, Bill O'Neill's a different level of experience. He's twice his age. $100,000 on the line. This essentially a semifinal. And the winner in this stepladder format meets 46-year-old Tom Smallwood, who is the Hollywood story. I'll tell you about it later. O'Neill spares.
Yeah, good cover.
So you see the max for O'Neill at 248. Barnes at 236. Bill surveying here. What do you make of where we stand at the moment?
Well, I think that if Ryan can figure out the right lane, he's got a real shot at climbing right back into this.
Bill O'Neill. Boom. When my ball's rolling right, it carries really good. Grip pressure is key, and you see at 19.3 miles per hour, Bill O'Neill trying to earn a bid to meet his friend Tom Smallwood. Ryan Barnes, the kid, the 21-year-old, has other plans. It's the PBA Players Championship. The on-lane graphics you see, including the oil patterns, which are projected on today's lanes, are courtesy of Clutch Bowling. Welcome back. 2024 PBA Players Championship presented by Snickers on Fox. Ryan Barnes, 21 years of age, meeting Bill O'Neill, 42 years of age. And right now, O'Neill with that 22-pin lead.
Staying with the urethane on the right lane.
Barnes with his Wichita State Shockers team, the national champions here. And he leaves 2 up.
That ball hooked early, went right through the nose. Remember the last shot he aced and left a flat 10. I mean, from where I'm sitting, I would have thought the reactive ball would have come into play on that right lane. He's got 1 strike through 6 frames. He's made a lot of different moves, different bowling balls. Meanwhile, Bill O'Neill staying with 1 ball and staying with pretty much the same plan of attack on both lanes.
You feel like where we're at, momentum purposes, he needs 1 here?
Oh, absolutely. Let's see if the ball does the same thing it did last time on this lane.
Come on, ball!
Went high.
God dang.
Frustration.
You know, that was kind of the message I heard from the players this week, was when they tried to shape reactive resin, it was really tough to get it to do the same thing twice going down the lane. And
why?
That's because the break point was so small and so defined. And that's why the closer you could stay to it, the better off you were. And that's why so many players use urethane.
Urethane is a theme in Wichita.
Just real predictable. Once the front part of the lane goes and that urethane, those urethane bowling balls carry oil down the lane, lanes get extremely difficult.
Bill O'Neill seeking his 3rd major championship today.
Whoa.
A strike.
That's big. 20 miles an hour for O'Neill, and doubles up here in the 6th and 7th. And it's a 33-pin lead. Could go to 43 with a strike here in the 8th frame. The winner to take on Tom Smallwood.
Top seed who 15 years ago experienced championship glory right here in Wichita with his first major championship. Such a special story that we'll continue to tell. Right now, it's about O'Neill. He'd like to meet his friend, Tom Smallwood, for the title at the Players.
You got kidding me. Again, that left lane, remember the ringing 10 that he didn't like? That shot there was as good. But again, O'Neill looking to come away with 9 spare when he could have really increased his lead. Still small chance for young Ryan Barnes.
O'Neill owns 15 gold and 24 overall medals in Team USA competition. He's had a terrific career, and he is in control right now as we're in the 8th, and now a message from Pops.
Yeah.
Mid on the other one.
21 years of age. One of 3 left standing for the Players Championship in the PBA.
And there's the change I thought he would have made a couple frames ago. He went to the reactive resin on that right lane.
When in doubt, always talk with Dad. The 2024 NASCAR season drops the green flag next month with the Clash at the Coliseum. And on February 18th, it's the most iconic day in all of motorsports as the Great American Race returns. The Daytona 500, only on Fox. John Fanta, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler with you from Bowlero Northrock, Wichita, Kansas. Sub-zero temps outside. And here you can hear a pin drop with a Players Championship on the line and a 21-year-old college senior, the son of Hall of Famers, Ryan Barnes, picking up steam.
Yeah, he had to have that one, too, to give himself any chance. His match score is only 205. O'Neill's at 207 right now.
O'Neill, they're dueling.
Oh my goodness.
It counts. That's all that matters.
Big miss left for O'Neill. Crosses over and goes Brooklyn. I mean, this is just a huge break. Big miss left for O'Neill. Needs a spare and 9.
Head scratcher. This sport, if you're going to win a major, you need a little bit of luck on the way.
I mean, you want to win any time, you need some luck.
Money.
Beautiful. He's going to bowl for the title against Smallwood. Look, let's not forget the 2 shots he threw on that left lane where he went ring 10 and then he went blower 7. And then okay, so he makes a bad shot and he goes Brooklyn. So what? He comes back and he just absolutely aces the first ball in the 10th frame. It's been a great run for Ryan Barnes and something that we're all going to remember for a long time.
We're just seeing the beginning of Ryan Barnes, and Chris Barnes has to, as much as this is tough, these guys are all colleagues on the tour. He knows how much Bill O'Neill, how hard he works, and for Bill, this is special. Bill O'Neill is heading to the finals to meet Tom Smallwood. 2 bets for the title.
42-year-old and a 46-year-old going at it for a major championship. Just going to check the waters with a different piece of equipment here, and
I wasn't trying to make it.
He was not trying to make the 10 pin, I promise you. Bill O'Neill's a great spare shooter. And he wouldn't stand to the right to shoot a 10 pin. So, yeah, he was looking at the same ball with a little different layout. It looked like it had a little shine to it. But what a great run for this young man here. And again, if you think about the time frame, right, the timeline for him and how good he got so quickly, I mean, it's just an amazing story.
It is. Found bowling more competitively. It played about 3 times a year, he told us, growing up. With his dad, Chris, mom, Linda, both Hall of Famers. And then COVID hit. He said, there's nothing to do. I got to head to the bowling alley. Started playing every single day. And in 4 years' time, has gone from being the first man left off the Wichita State varsity team as a freshman to a national champion, to a vital part of that program, and chance of Barnesy. Listen to this. Goosebumps. What it's all about. What makes this sport beautiful. Ryan Barnes, you are special. Tip your cap, young man.
So proud of you. So proud of you. Great bowling.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Barnes put on a show, but he is heading home. Tom Smallwood versus Bill O'Neill. Barnes was able to get past Ryan Stubler. The veteran O'Neill will meet his buddy Tom Smallwood. They're both looking for their third major championship. Kimberly Pressler is with the Barnes.
It's a family affair down here. Now, Ryan, I know that's not the way you wanted your day to end, but my goodness, you got to be proud of how well you have done today.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. I wish it could have gone the other way, but it happens. Learning.
And what was it like having your mom and dad on the sideline? So every time you had something going on, you could walk over there and get their advice.
I mean, it's amazing. I had the two best eyes behind me in the bowling world, so can't beat it.
It's pretty amazing to have two Hall of Famers in your ear when you're out here bowling, and you know exactly what it's like out here competing. But today, you were a dad above all else. What was it like for you and Linda to be sitting on the sideline? Tell us about this moment in words, how this is for you today.
Nerve-wracking.
Normally you are talkative. That's all you got for us?
It's so much different watching the back, but we're so proud of him, and he's given us way more credit than we deserve. He did all the bowling, he did all the work this week, and we couldn't be more proud. It's a great day, and
I see you tearing up, but let's talk about this crowd out here on how much they had his back. What does that mean to you and the family?
There's so few home games in bowling, and I tell you what, Wichita is one of the greatest places in the world for bowling.
Congratulations to the Barnes family on how you guys did today.
What a magical week, a week that this family will never forget. Ryan and Dad, Chris, Mom, Linda. We're just seeing the beginning of Ryan Barnes, and here he is, Tom Smallwood. We will have an uninterrupted final, America. Smallwood on one side. This is where his American dream came true. Bill O'Neill on the other on a Monday at the Players in Wichita. The PBA on Fox is sponsored by Bowlero, the #1 place to bowl, party, and play, with over 340 locations nationwide. Head to Bowlero.com today to find a center near you. And by Go Bowling for friends and family fun. Log on to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. He is the man who led the way in the 48 games of bowling round-robin fashion in qualifying in this PBA Players Championship. From an 88-player field to just 2 left, Tom Smallwood is one of those 2, Randy Peterson. Back in 2018, he won the PBA Players Championship.
Yeah, he sure did. I think he beat this guy from Australia. You might have heard of him, Jason Belmonte. Yeah, Barbasol was a sponsor back then. We used to love watching the guys get all lathered up. That was great. But Tom Smallwood, you know, he only has 3 career wins, but 2 of them are majors. And he knows how to win the big tournaments. I think the thing that's most impressive about Smalls is that he's fearless. You know, if you just met him, you'd be like, oh, what a nice guy, and he's real unassuming. But on the lanes, he's a bulldog. He's not afraid of anything. And I think this is going to be an interesting title match because Tom Smallwood is able to do different things, especially with his ball roll. It's unique. He throws a full roller where all the other players are 3/4 roll. He's different.
An uninterrupted, commercial-free final is coming up. But before Smallwood meets Bill O'Neill, Kimberly Pressler is with them both.
Thank you, John. So, Bill, congratulations on getting into the title match. And you got a Brooklyn on that right lane at the end of that last match. 1, what happened? And 2, did you figure it out for this next one?
I don't even know what you're talking about. There was no Brooklyn. That was perfect. I gotta, you know, I'm not worried about that shot. You know, I made a poor decision and a poor move there, and we're going to get it corrected here.
All right, good luck to you. And Tom, you are back in the place where it started all for you. 2009, you won your first ever major right here in this building. How badly do you want it to come full circle and win your 3rd major right here?
Oh, you know, it's a dream come true every time we're out here. Like, this is what we do for a living, and to be on top of this field, I don't ever take for granted if the guys I bowl against are the best on the planet. And so, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Definitely have some good vibes from this building. It was awesome. I remember it all so well. It was great, and I wouldn't mind holding the trophy again.
We'll see if you can repeat it tonight. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Randy Peterson, what will this championship showdown come down to? What are these two strengths that they need to trickle into this one?
Well, the scores have really slowed down since young Ryan Barnes started with the front 8 in game 1. Yeah. I think it's all going to be determined by how good of a ball reaction Tom Smallwood has. If he has a really good ball reaction, he might just run over O'Neal.
From being an amateur in the late 90s to getting a last chance, what he viewed as a last chance in 2009. Now Tom Smallwood is here in 2024 looking for his 3rd major title. He meets Bill O'Neal for the PBA Players Championship next.
You want to generate some momentum? How about winning a major title in the first event of the season? That's how you make a first impression. One of bowling's 5 crown jewels. The qualifying, the match play, every roll up to this point washes away. This game, these 10 frames are everything. The 2024 PBA Players Championship Final starts now on Fox.
Welcome back to Bowlero Northrock in Wichita, Kansas. Bill O'Neal, Tom Smallwood for that prize and $100,000. It's our title match.
O'Neal knows how to win big money tournaments. He's done it a couple times in his career, and well, Smallwood knows how to win majors.
"13 PBA Tour titles for Bill O'Neal. U.S. Open in 09-10. The Players in 2020. Bill O'Neal leaves 2.
And that looks like a ball change for Bill. It looks like it's the same kind of ball that he used in game 1, the Black Widow 3.0, but this one looks shiny to me. I mean, it's hard to see from my vantage point. I'm going by the monitor, and I'm getting the yes from the tour reps that are down lane. So it is a different Black Widow 3.0, shiny one. And you can see that with that shinier surface, it has a lot more movement in the back part of the lane.
He is a 3-time PBA Tour champion and 2-time major winner. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Smallwood.
You said he could roll today. Why do you believe that?
Well, Bill O'Neal shot 215 the first game. If Tom Smallwood has any kind of look with his full roller, his unique ball roll, 215 is not going to cut it.
214 average last year. You said it was a tough last season for him. He has started this year well, but he leaves the 10.
Also, Smallwood has had the highest strike percentage of any player throughout this tournament. Check out this release. Now, he only puts his thumb into the first knuckle, rolls it up on his wrist, and then the way it comes out of his hand, it's almost like he sets his hand on the ball, and it makes it into an offset position. So because of that, the way the ball comes out of his hand, it creates a full roller type of motion. What does that mean? Well, the bowling ball is 27 inches in circumference. His track actually goes between the fingers and thumb hole, which means it's covering 27 inches of the ball.
We had a great conversation with him yesterday. He said he's just gotten more and more comfortable in the offseason. All about having that hand in the right spot, as you just referenced. Smallwood with a strike.
Again, see if we can't see the ball rotation and the ring of oil and pick it up in between the fingers and thumb hole. That's kind of hard to see there for me. Traditional ball track would be Bill O'Neal, and that's what's known as a 3/4 track.
O'Neal O'Neal getting past Ryan Barnes to get here.
Oh.
It falls.
Whoa. Hang on. Check this out, Johnny. Whoa.
2.6.
Yeah, that's a Black Widow 3.0, not a 2.6. He still trips the 2-pin.
Man.
And remember, he went to that ball change. Remember, he told Kimberly, "Hey, I never threw a Brooklyn that last game. Never mind, Kimberly. We're moving on, and I'm going to make the right adjustment." And that adjustment was a trip too.
He talked about certain blocks this past week where he could be really aggressive. How he's holding the ball, where the front of the lane hooks more, where he has to be softer. All about being nice to it. That's nice for Mr. O'Neal. Back to back.
Oh, 10-pin gets bullied.
A tale of the tape between these two vets.
Players have been around the block, but obviously the lore has to go to O'Neal, 13-time winner. And he's just so talented, so good. 40 years combined as touring pros, and man, just some great players. No.
Yeah, roll 2, then you 7-10. That's pretty much what usually should happen.
Well, how about this stat? The 7-10 split was left 227 times this week, counting this one. It was only converted once, and that was by Richie Teese.
Once.
Yeah, but you heard Smallwood. He was like, "Oh, that's fair. Bill rolls a 2-pin. I leave the pocket 7-10."
Just 4 times it's been converted on television. Oh, it was that close. Wow. We almost just watched history, Randy.
Wow. I mean, this looked so close. Oh
my.
My goodness. I'm not sure I've ever seen one that close that didn't go down.
And that's saying a lot from a guy who's been doing it 25 years in this booth.
Crazy. Wow. All right, see if Smalls can gather himself. To the pocket every shot. Yep, good one. Yep, good one there. All right, Smalls, you got to shake it off, man. Dust yourself off. Lace up those shoes, tighten them up a bit. Get ready for a good old-fashioned rock fight with Bill O'Neal.
These two wouldn't have it any other way. O'Neal with back issues. Last year he said he was doing yard work before heading to Maine in September. And he said, "Oh, that's not good," as he picked up the rake. Worked and worked to get it healthy. Now feeling good.
Yeah, I guess it stemmed from an old basketball injury.
It did. Around 20 years of age, he's playing hoops, and ever since that, he said it's been 18-month cycles. Amazing what he's accomplished.
Yeah, right? I mean, he looks like he's feeling pretty good right now, obviously. But, you know, he stopped trying to shape it, and he's going nice and straight now, and he's gotten 3 in a row.
Bowl of 300 during qualifying. After a bad game, he recovered. He's always had that about him.
Not enough shape on that shot. You know, every shot makes somebody happy, and that one made Smallwood happy because that means O'Neal is going to slow down just enough. Just cover both pins with the bowling ball. 4 of our 5 finalists tonight bowled 300s. The only player not to was Stubler. His high game was 280.
Stubler played quite well here today. Ryan Barnes got the best of it. 4 for 4 on the 2-8 for O'Neal this week. Well, it's a chance to talk about this man. He is the American dream. Tom Smallwood qualified for his PBA Tour card in 2003-04 because he did well in regional tour events. He did not handle the pressure well. He missed the cut in 19 of 20 events. Found a job at a metal shop as his then girlfriend, now wife Jennifer, would not marry a man without a regular paycheck. At 30, he decided he was done being a full-time bowler, got laid off by General Motors, gave it one last shot in 2009. Scrambled the money together, $1,500 entry fee, got here to the Players, rather the World Championship, and won in Wichita.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we talked about in the Open, just a Cinderella story as we take a look at Tom Smallwood wiping off the oil on his Crimson Jackal that he has decided to go with, and right now 1 strike away from making this just a 10-pin deficit. I mean, they made a sitcom about this guy.
It's incredible.
Let's go.
He is the American dream.
He's got a great ball reaction. All he needs is to not leave another pocket 7-10. This is going to be a fight to the finish.
Oh, boy.
Smallwood's speed is just soft enough. He's got enough hand to get that ball to shape beautifully down lane. He's playing this pattern 7 boards to the left of Bill O'Neill.
Game on.
Hates it. Another Brooklyn. And you can see why. The big miss right here.
.9. It's the 3rd time he's ended up towards the left. Well, this is as good as it gets down the stretch in a major. When you take a look at the max, folks, this is neck and neck. O'Neill and Smallwood, 2 vets, Randy. Wow.
You know, Smallwood's trailing by 9. I like his ball reaction better.
Oh, boy.
Go straighter. No good. Go to the right. No good.
4-10. Game face on for Smallwood.
You know, it looks like he's trying to trap it and keep it in front of him. He threw a couple in a row. He threw that 3-bagger by taking some of the shape out.
Oh, he knew it right away. A big mistake. A big mistake.
Well, right now it's Smallwood's for the taking. Working on 3 in a row, he can step up and just make it 5-bagger right now. He's up by 5 with that opening from O'Neill. He can make it 25 with back-to-back hits in the 7th and 8th.
Handbone for Smallwood.
You did not just say that. Rob is going to be so disappointed in you. Just a beautiful shot by Tom Smallwood. One more makes it 25-pin lead with just a few frames remaining. Max score 258 for Smallwood. 233 for O'Neill.
Just get lucky.
Just get lucky.
God, that's so terrible. We're shot.
Just get lucky. He didn't like it out of his hand. Looked a little fast. Ball never came around the corner. The good break, no 10-pin with the 2-8.
Five of 7 this week on 2-8. Smallwood. Oh.
How was that never hook? That was an overhook.
Well, Bill O'Neill, you said it was there for the taking for Smallwood. Look at this.
Unbelievable. I mean, I think he liked this shot when it left his hand, and the ball just never turned over.
And so O'Neill with life in the 8th.
Look at it. Oh, my. It did come around the corner. It didn't look like it was going to. The last couple of feet grabbed a little bit of friction.
We want to give a big thanks to Bowlero Northrock for hosting us. Corey Shugren, the general manager here at Bowlero Northrock. Jeremy Lawless, the Bowlero Regional Area Manager. Jeremy, Corey, thanks to you and your staff for having us all week in Wichita, Kansas. It has been a pleasure to be here for the Players Championship. Bill O'Neill, he won it in 2020.
Bill.
O'Neill turning it on at the biggest time.
And that's how you take advantage of an opening given to you by your opponent. Max score O'Neill 233 still. Max score Smallwood 224. What a beautiful shot by Bill O'Neill right here. You can just never count Willie out because he's just tenacious. He can do so many different things, and he's got such great touch. Now Smallwood has to apply pressure. The only way he can do that, he has to strike out.
Needs it here.
Oh, my goodness.
Really?
3, 4, 6, 7.
And just like that, just when it looked like Smallwood was going to run the table, a missed spare, and then right through the face.
Sadly, I didn't like it. I didn't mind that at all.
$100,000 in the balance.
All but over.
Yes, it is.
Always hurts.
Tom Smallwood with a heck of a week.
Pretty decent shot there.
And Bill O'Neill from Smallwood being there for the taking. Just an incredible turn of events in our final.
Man, I mean, it was such a high, right? He gets that 4-bagger. It looks like he's going to kind of run away with it. Then O'Neill doubles, and then it's just like back-to-back open frames for Smallwood, like getting rapidly punched in the jejunum. Unbelievable. I got nothing. Back
such a
to
bad ball
back
choice.
to back.
That was the worst ball choice I've made ever in my life, in my career.
Yeah,
what's gonna
he
happen.
threw a 4-bagger.
Wow. A heartbreak for Tom Smallwood. Frustration swing. And
yeah. You got to feel for him. You hate to see any player go through that. I mean, at one point, I think his max score was in the 240s.
Yes.
And he shoots 178 in a matter of 3 frames.
Bill O'Neill.
I'm sorry, no, he could have shot 250.
Yes. And Bill O'Neill is the 2024 Players Champion. His 3rd major and 2nd at the Players.
Still got it. He still got it. Don't ever count Bill O'Neill out, folks.
$100,000 bill for Bill O'Neill. The satisfying moment of the match is sponsored by Snickers. Nothing satisfies like a Snickers. A back injury, a tough win in last year. That back's feeling great right now. He's heading back to PA with hardware.
Had to spend the night in Houston on his way here. Missed practice session and still won.
I love you.
And you think of his dad.
Thank you, guys.
You think of his family.
Yep.
Thank you.
What a special week for Bill O'Neill. He won the 2020 Players Championship. Now he wins it in 2024.
I'll get there when I get there.
A U.S. Open as well. Kimberly Pressler's with Bill O'Neill, the Players Champ.
We had to wait for Bill to go over there and celebrate a little bit. You worked hard for this win. You struggled a bit on that right lane. We won't say it's a Brook lane. You can call it whatever you want. But then you had that split over there on the left. Walk us through this match.
I didn't have a great look. I think I didn't play the lanes that great. I was committed to playing straight. And, a lot of times on TV, that's what you have to do. You have to have a game plan, and you got to stick with it. And, hopefully it works out. And, fortunately for me, Tom, he caught a bad break there in the third frame. And, I thought he bowled a pretty good game, and I got pretty lucky.
Tom, I think you should do the honors right here. The commissioner of the PBA, Tom Clark.
Thanks, Kimberly. What a thrilling start to the 2024 PBA Tour season. Thanks to Bowlero Northrock, Snickers, and on behalf of the PBA players and the PBA, Bill, congratulations. You're the champ.
Congratulations, Bill O'Neill, on winning your second PBA Players Championship.
Thank you, Hammer. Black Widow 3.0. Let's do it.
And a 14th
Thank you so much.
PBA Tour title, third major. The PBA returns in just under 3 weeks on Saturday, February 3rd, live on FS1 at 4 Eastern with coverage of the PBA Elite League presented by Snickers from Indianapolis. And then the next day, Sunday, February 4th, live coverage of our second major of the season, the U.S. Open presented by Go Bowling from Royal Pin Woodland in Indianapolis at 4 Eastern on Fox. For our entire crew, our producer Dave Bruner, for Randy Peterson, the Hall of Famer, for Kimberly Pressler, this is John Fanta saying so long from Wichita, Kansas. Bill O'Neill is the Players Champion in the PBA. He starts the year in title fashion. You've been watching the PBA on Fox.